So today you are with me to go over lesson 10.2 on volume of triangular prisms. Yesterday's lesson was on volume of rectangular prisms and we just used length times width times height. Today you are going to learn a new formula and it is an interesting one. So let us get started. Right here it says to find the volume of a triangular prism is the area of the base big B times the height h. So here's your formula. V equals big B times h. Now this big B is not like the B in old formulas, which was just the base. This is the area of the base of the prism. So this is going to be interesting here. So I'll show you just off to the side here. To find big B, you're going to have to find the area of one of these triangular bases. And think of that, how to find the area of a triangle, half times base times height. And then you're going to have to multiply that by the height of the prism. So we'll show you here how to do it. It won't be too bad. So first some vocab. In a triangular prism, the bases are congruent triangles. Remember, congruent means same size, same shape. So look at this triangular prism. We've got a triangle on the bottom and a congruent triangle on the top. That's what makes it a triangular prism. Alright, in example 1, we're going to find the volume of this. Now, they have all the lovely work over here. But you know me, I like to go over it with you off to the side. So I'm going to start here. So guess what? You're going to be writing the formula, substituting, and solving. And this one, you'll see, is not that difficult. So volume is big B times H. Now, when I substitute here, I have to remember that big B is the area of the triangle. So I actually have to do work just to find big B. The height will be simple. That won't be that bad. So let me show you how to get big B. Now, here is one of the triangle bases. We have to find the area of it. So what I'm going to do when I substitute in for big B is I'm going to actually use parentheses, and I'm going to do half times base times height. Remember, the area of a triangle is half times base times height. So that's what I have to do just for big B. So I have half times. Now, let's find the base and the height of that triangle. See the right angle thing here? The base and the height of the triangle must touch that right angle. So here is the base, here is the height, or you could say this is the height, this is the base. But these are the two dimensions we need. So this one is 8, this one is 10. So I have volume is half times 8 times 10. All of that in parentheses here is just for big B. Now, to get times the height, which is what people forget to do a lot, the height is not the height of that we used to get big B. The height is how high this prism is. In other words, the distance between the two triangle bases. So basically, how far apart is this triangle and this triangle? And if you see, it is right here. That's the height of the prism, which is 13. Holy cow, that seems complicated. But remember, it's not. Big B is half times the base of the height of the triangle. You're just focusing on that area. Height, H, is how high the prism is. Now, you can, if you want, just type all of this in your calculator, including the parentheses, and you'll get your answer. Or you can just do a little bit of mental math, which is what I'm going to do. So, I know half of 8 is 4, and 4 times 10 is 40. So I have to do 40 times 13. Now, 4 times 13 is 52. So 40 times 15 is going to be 520. Again, you could just type that in the calculator. So your volume is 520 cubic meters. Remember, volume is always measured in cubic meters. Alright, so I'm going to help you with A and B. I'm going to give you a little more help for A and a little less for B, because I know this new formula is going to be interesting. So we're going to start with A. I'm going to get you set up. So remember, its volume is big B times H. Let me make that even bigger. And remember what big B is. It's the area of that triangular base. So it could be either one of the triangles. So we're going to have to find the area of one of these triangles that I just outlined in black. So volume is all of that, and we're going to need the H here. So to get the area of that triangle, we're going to need half times the base times the height. Now I'm actually going to use the triangle that's on the top because it gives me more information. So we need the base and the height of that triangle. So remember, this pink line is going to be the height of the triangle, which is 3.5. The base is perpendicular to it. So here's the base is 4. So it's half times 4 times 3.5. Okay, I'm actually going to use an X there just because I don't want to get that dot confused with the decimal. I know we don't like you to use X's, but oh well. Now the height of the prism. Do not get the height of this triangle, the 3.5, confused with the height of the prism. So don't use the 3.5 here. The height of the prism is how far apart these triangular bases are. So this is the height of the prism right here, which is 7. Okay. Now, your job is to type all of that junk into the calculator. Don't forget your parentheses. And pause the video, do that, and come back. Don't forget your unit, and we'll see if you're right. Okay, pause now. Go. All right, let's see if you got it. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of mental math because I don't have a calculator on me. So half times 4 is 2. 2 times 3.5 is 7. 7 times 7 is 49. So your volume should be 49. And did you remember cubic meters? Okay. So I helped you a lot with A. B, I'm going to help you less. I'm going to kind of get you set up, and then I'm going to let you go and do it. So remember the formula. Big B times H. And then remember when you substitute, big B is the area of the triangular base. So you're going to have to find the area of this triangle and put all of that crap inside those parentheses. Okay? And don't forget H is the height of the prism. It is the distance between these two triangular bases. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause the video and only do this step. Only substitute the numbers in. Don't solve it yet. So after you substitute the numbers in, play it and we'll see if you got all the right numbers. Okay, pause it and go. All right, so let's see how you did. So for the triangle, it's half times the base of my triangle. It's going to be right here. And the height of my triangle is right here. So it's going to be half times 7 times 8. Now the height of the prism is, don't use this 8 as the height of the prism. Remember, that's only for the triangle. The height of the prism is going to be the distance between the two triangles. So that's going to be this sucker right here is the height. And that's going to be 10. So that should go in here. A lot of people, they focus so much on the parentheses, they forget about that 10 outside there. Okay, if you had those numbers in the right spot, then you pretty much know what you're doing right now. So the last thing you want to do is solve that. Type it all in the calculator. You could pause it if you want, or you can wait here. I'm going to do it mental math because I'm cool like that. Nah, I'm not that cool. All right. Here's what I'm going to get. So half of 8 is 4. 4 times 7 is 28. So all this stuff in parentheses is 28. And 28 times 10, I just add a 0, is 280 cubic yards. Don't forget the unit for volume. All right. So let's go to the next page. In this next page, we have the same deal, but it's more of a real-world example. But it's pretty much the same thing we've been doing. So I'll go over this one here. It says, a large skateboard ramp is shown. Find the volume of the triangular prism. So here's the formula. Volume is big B times H. Notice they have big B red, so we can see those numbers in red, and H is in blue. So big B is the area of one of the triangle bases. And I'll show you here in black. We'll just look at this black triangle. All right, so they substituted half times, this is the base, is 10. This is the height, is 7. So it's half times 10 times 7. That's where those numbers come from. Now, for the height in blue, the height is the distance between the two triangles. I know people want to put 7 because they keep thinking that's the height of the prism. So notice they have the height of 4. Let me show you where that came from. There is one triangle in the front and there's the other triangle in the back. The distance between them is this right here. That is the height of the prism, which is 4. And then they solved it. Half times 10 times 7 times 4 is 140 cubic feet. Okay? Same thing, they just said, well, instead of this picture, it's a skateboard ramp. All right? Now, in C, this seems tricky, but it's not. So I'm going to set you up here. We'll read it, and I'm going to explain something to you. It says, find the volume of a triangular prism-shaped model with a base of 32 square centimeters and a height of 6 centimeters. Okay, so everyone starts to panic because there's only 2 numbers in here, and you know from the one above, we needed this number, we needed this number, we needed this number. It doesn't seem like you have enough information, but I want to explain this to you. All right, so let's start with just the formula. Is volume is big B times H. Okay, so here's why this is actually easier. Remember what big B is. Big B is the area of the base. And you know area is square centimeters, right? So this says it's a triangular prism model with a base of 32 square centimeters. You see that square centimeters? That means area, right? So this 32 is that's already big B. They already figured big B out for you. You don't have to figure that out because it says the base is 32 square centimeters. So when you substitute, this is all you do. Big B is 32. Now remember height, they told us the height of 6 centimeters. 32 times 6. So, don't panic. When they give you when it says the base and it gives you a number and it says square units, they are giving you big B without you having to figure it out like we did up here. Okay? So multiply 32 times 6. I'll do a little bit of mental math here. I know 30 times 6 is 180. 2 times 6 is 12. 180 plus 12 is 192 cubic centimeters because it's volume. All right. So, don't panic. Yeah, you should panic because now we're getting to missing dimensions. Okay, yeah, panic. No, I'm only kidding. It's not that bad. All right. So I'm going to go over example 3, and then you're going to do problem D. So in example 3, it says find the height of the triangular prism. So we are going to be missing H. That means they're going to give us enough information for big B, and they're going to give us the volume. So notice they wrote the formula, and let me show you here. The volume V is 12 cubic centimeters. So the 12 goes in for the V. Now big B, we have to find the area of the base of a triangle, which I'll highlight that triangle in black here. I'll do the one in the back because that's where it looks like they give us more numbers. So you could use this triangle in front too, but that one in the back is where I see. So we need half times base times height. So they have the half. Now look at here. You see this right angle thing here? That means the right angle is here on the triangle in the back. So the two numbers that touch that are 1 and 0.3. See how they touch the right angle? This would be the 1. This would be the 0.3. So it's half times 1 times 0.3. Now remember, we don't know the height, the distance between them, so that stays in H. Then what they do is they simplify everything in parentheses. And you could type that in your calculator. It's half times 1 times 0.3. And if you do that, you get 0.15. Notice they brought down the 12 equals, and they brought down that H. So they have 12 equals 0.15 times H. Then just like you've been doing, you divide each side by 0.15. These will cancel, and if you do 12 divided by 0.15, you get 80. So the height of the prism is 80 square centimeters. Or I'm sorry, 80 centimeters, not square centimeters. It's just a dimension. All right. In D, here's what you're going to do. You're going to find the missing dimension, and the height is missing. They give you the volume. They give you the base length and the base height. They're the things you need for the triangle. So we're going to see if you could do this one. Now, if you're stuck, I'll go through it, and I'll give you time after each step to see if you made it that far. So you're going to have two options. Option 1. If you are comfortable and you think you can get this whole problem, Do the steps, find the height, do it all, and then play it and see if you're right. Option 2, kind of do it and pause between each step. Do a step, watch the video. Do a step, watch the video to see if you're doing it right. Because you don't want to do the whole thing wrong and then have to fix it all. All right, so I'm going to start you off with the formula. And what I want you to do now is substitute the numbers in the right spot and then restart the video to see if you were right. Okay, go. All right, let's see if you got them. So, volume is 55. So the 55 goes in for the V. Now, we don't know the height, so that's going to stay H. Now, big B, remember, that's the area of that triangular base, is going to be half times the base length is 2 times the base height is 5. And all of that times H, because we don't know what the height is. That's what we're trying to figure it out. Okay, now, here you're going to continue. Unless you did it all and you're just watching to see if you're right. You have to simplify this and rewrite it. And then you're going to solve that equation to get the height. So I want you to try to finish up this problem. Pause the video and then restart it when you're done. If you're totally stuck, you can watch it. Watch me do it with you. Okay, go. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to simplify all of this junk into one number to find big B. So half times 2 times 5. If you do that, you get 5. So all of that gets simplified to one nice number, 5. Bring down the times H and bring down the 55 equals. Now you have a simple multiplication equation. Divide by 5, divide by 5. So your height is 55 divided by 5 is 11. And it's just kilometers, not cubic kilometers because it's only a dimension. All right, on to the last page. Okay, this is just a real world example here. We'll show you again, we'll read through it, and I'll go through it kind of quickly. It says, Dwayne bought a cheese wedge for his March Madness party. Now, I have an issue with this because if someone brings a cheese wedge to a party, that's kind of weird. Bring Doritos, bring some soda. A cheese wedge? Seriously, Dwayne is one weird dude. Anyway, the cheese wedge has the dimensions shown, and that's a weird looking cheese wedge. The volume of the cheese wedge is 54 cubic inches, so notice they give us V. What is the height of the cheese wedge? So this is a missing dimension problem. So they gave us the volume. Here's the formula. The volume is 54, so that goes in for V. Big B, we have to figure out from the picture. So I'm going to highlight one of the triangles that we have to find the area of. We'll do the one in the back. All right. Now, we need half times the base and the height must touch this right angle. So this and this must be the base and the height. So that means one of them is 3, and this one you have to steal from down here is 4. So it's half times 3 times 4 times H. Notice they simplify half times 3 times 4 into one number, 6. And you have this nice equation, 54 equals 6 times H. Divide each side by 6. Remember, these will cancel, and 54 divided by 6 is 9. So that means the height of the cheese wedge is 9 inches. All right. So hopefully you're going to get in for the video a little bit there, but you could obviously get more help from me. If you were absent, you know you're going to have to complete the guided practice problems down here. You won't have to do 5. Don't forget, write the formula, substitute, solve. If you get stuck, watch this video again and fast forward to the parts you need. All right, later. And remember, don't bring a cheese wedge to a party.